How to end the Russia-Ukraine war suggested by AI. The Russia-Ukraine war, a conflict that has devastated lives, displaced millions, and strained global relations, seems intractable, yet, peace is possible through a series of carefully negotiated steps, compromises, and international efforts. This article outlines a potential framework for ending the war, considering the positions and potential agreements of both Russia and Ukraine. 1. Diplomatic negotiations. At the heart of any resolution must be direct, sustained diplomatic talks between Russia and Ukraine. These negotiations could be mediated by neutral third parties or international organizations such as the United Nations or the Organization for Security and Company Operation in Europe, OSCE. The goal would be to establish a ceasefire and develop a roadmap for peace that both sides can commit to. 2. International mediation and support. The involvement of international organizations and major powers is crucial. These actors can provide the necessary framework and apply pressure to both parties to reach a resolution. The European Union, EU, and the United Nations, UN, could play leading roles in facilitating dialogue, offering platforms for negotiation, and ensuring any agreements are upheld. 3. Ceasefire agreement. A key first step in ending the war would be the establishment of a durable ceasefire. This would halt hostilities and create an environment conducive to negotiations. To ensure compliance, peacekeeping forces or international monitoring mechanisms might be necessary. Such an agreement would need to be robust, with clear terms and consequences for violations. 4. Security guarantees. One of Russia's primary concerns has been the potential for Ukraine to join NATO or other military alliances that Moscow perceives as threatening. As part of a peace agreement, Ukraine could pledge to remain neutral, refraining from joining NATO in exchange for strong security guarantees from other nations or international bodies. These guarantees would reassure Ukraine of protection against future aggression and provide Russia with the assurance that Ukraine will not be used as a base for hostile actions. 5. Addressing territorial disputes. The issue of territorial integrity is one of the most challenging aspects of the conflict. A potential solution could involve addressing the status of Crimea and the Donetsk and Luhansk regions, which have been points of contention. Russia might insist on international recognition of its annexation of Crimea, a significant concession for Ukraine. But a possible compromise could involve limited autonomy or special status for the Donetsk and Luhansk regions while they remain part of Ukraine. This might include cultural and linguistic rights for the local populations. 6. Economic sanctions and incentives. The economic impact of the war has been severe, not just for Ukraine but for Russia as well. Due to international sanctions, a peace deal could involve a phased lifting of these sanctions in exchange for Russia's compliance with the terms of the agreement. Conversely, economic incentives, such as international aid for reconstruction, could be offered to both nations as part of the peace process. 7. Humanitarian efforts. The humanitarian crisis caused by the war is immense. Addressing this crisis through international aid, rebuilding efforts, and the resettlement of displaced persons is crucial. Both sides might agree to a coordinated effort to rebuild war-torn areas and provide humanitarian assistance, creating a more stable environment that could foster long-term peace. 8. Public pressure and dialogue. Encouraging public discourse and dialogue within both Russia and Ukraine, as well as globally, could help build momentum for peace. Public pressure can be a powerful tool in pushing governments towards a resolution, particularly when combined with diplomatic and economic efforts. 9. Long-term peace building. Post-war reconciliation and rebuilding are essential for ensuring that the peace is lasting. This involves addressing the root causes of the conflict, such as ethnic tensions, political grievances, and economic disparities. International support for long-term development and governance reforms could help both nations recover and move forward peacefully. Common ground. A path to peace. Achieving peace will require significant compromises from both Russia and Ukraine. However, there are areas where common ground can be found. International peacekeeping force. Both sides might agree to the deployment of a neutral international peacekeeping force to monitor any ceasefire and ensure compliance. Prisoner exchange and human rights protections. Both nations could agree to the immediate release of prisoners of war and other detainees. along with commitments to uphold human rights during and after the peace process. Non-retaliation agreement is part of a peace deal. Ukraine might agree not to pursue war crimes charges against Russian soldiers or officials involved in the conflict, although this could be a controversial concession. Conclusion. Ending the Russia-Ukraine war is not an easy task. It requires a blend of diplomacy, international pressure, and willingness from both sides to compromise on key issues. By focusing on areas of potential agreement and building a framework that addresses the concerns of both Russia and Ukraine, the international community can help pave the way to peace. While the road ahead is fraught with challenges, these steps offer a viable path toward ending a conflict that has caused immeasurable suffering and disruption. Thank you for watching my video. For more videos, please like, share, and subscribe.